Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Jesse, your DM.
Cody playing Lazarus.
Brennan playing Dis.
Mike playing Nim.
Britt playing Kenna.
And we are Double Doubles and Dragons. We're a group of goofy Canadians that have gotten together to play a little D&D. Sometimes we will say things that are inoffensive. We mean them as jokes, of course, and they're certainly funny to us, but some people may find this offensive. If you do, we apologize, but we don't want any hate mail about it. So just don't listen, okay? Let's jump right into the action. All right, everybody, welcome back. So before we begin, we'll do a quick apology to those that are listening. We really did mean to come back and do a little bit more of a session at the end of the last recording, but real life stuff came up and, sometimes that happens, so we just weren't able to, so we got a little discombobulated there, but we're back now. All is good. I think we'll start off today with talking about inspiration. So right now, we've only got Nim with an inspiration. Everybody else used theirs to battle small girls. So, does anybody got any reasons they think somebody should have an inspiration back?
I rammed a girl as a goat.
I think Kenna deserves, yeah.
I mean, like...
It was an inspirational moment.
Here's my thing about Kenna ramming the goat. And I'm not saying that it wasn't amazing. I have two primary questions around. First of all, what part of Kenna's character made you do that?
She's a druid, and she was using her druidic abilities to handle the situation. She often uses animals when she's in a tricky situation.
That is fair.
And she did it. And the quickest way to do it was to be a goat.
My second problem, and this is a problem that came up when I was trying to decide how much experience to award you guys for the last session, is I really don't feel like I should be rewarding the near murder of teenage girls.
It wasn't meant to be a murder.
Only
it was
one
meant
girl.
to just knock her off her feet.
She was mostly going for a shove action.
It was a shove. It was not meant as an attack. It was get on the ground and get you back, because she was also very concerned about their ranks and didn't want Sergeant Strain to get mad at them for something or have her.
That is true. I really can't fault Kenna for being overly cautious about what is and is not allowed.
And when she knew what was happening, she ran away and begged Lazarus not to freak out.
That is true.
Shit.
All right, I think we'll give an inspiration to Kenna, and I'm giving an inspiration to Lazarus because normally Lazarus doesn't like lying, but he did it for his team, and I know it hurt him, but he did it.
And on that note, though, Dis also deserves one because he picked up the mess that Kenna created.
That's true.
Amazing.
Dis really did kind of like clean up the pieces until Nim showed up and was just like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yep.
So yeah, I think as much as I don't want to reward that behavior, I really can't fault some of the decisions.
Well, I mean, it was an encounter, and we handled it in our own surf and turf kind of way.
Yep.
So
Better than Tenner's 5, for sure.
Was it, though? Was it?
Well, I mean,
nobody died.
Nobody
The
died.
authorities didn't find out
This is
anything
true.
bad, and you didn't end up in court.
We didn't advance the evil plots.
Is it bad that three of us just said nobody died as the first reason?
Yes. First reason it wasn't as bad as Tennis 5. Nobody died. Just throwing that out there right now. No, I think that's fine. So I think what we'll do then is everybody has inspiration. So congratulations. Experience-wise, I thought about this for a while and how much, how it was handled. I definitely commoners don't give all that much experience for obvious reasons. That being said, I do like how everybody kind of kept it together and, managed to not get themselves arrested after being in the Stronghold for like 3 days. So I
forget that.
I think I'll give everybody 100 experience for that.
Yay!
3 days.
We almost made it. Creeping along.
See, this is how you min-max against commoners.
How many commoners do we have to kill?
We're going to semi-kill
pencil.
many, many commoners.
I will kill all the
You just
commoners.
twist the tip of it. Oh, for the...
No, the tip of the pencil.
Twist
Oh,
this
okay.
piece.
No, I need a eraser.
eraser.
I was just like...
Yeah, for those of you listening at home, that is Dis not knowing how a pencil works. But it's
I mean,
mechanical
it is a
pencil.
In all fairness, it's a weird pencil.
28.7?
In his
28700.
defense.
There we go. That's right. Thank you for defending me on that.
That's right. In his defense.
It's the weirdest mechanical pencil. I don't even know where I got it from.
It just looked like there was no eraser on the end for a second, so I was like, so how do you to erase?
Well, I just didn't want you to try and click it, because it doesn't click at all, so...
I would have found an eraser.
let's do a recap of last episode, shall we? I'll throw it out right now. Not a lot got done. Is I think
I can cast a spell that I couldn't cast last session.
that is true. So I guess
Nobody
you know
died.
what? We'll start with the positives. Nim got a gem that he needs to cast Chromatic Orb.
Yes.
Potions were almost purchased, and no one died. And I think that's about
And they're
it.
building a church.
That's right. Lazarus is making progress on the church.
We'll
We
learn.
will find out today how much.
Kenna has really learned how great the sewage system is.
Well, I mean,
Well, the rung.
spent like half a day there.
Pretty great.
I'm still there, I believe.
Yeah,
We've learned taxi services are a thing, and we could totally abuse that.
that is
That
important.
what?
You have learned that
Taxi
commoners
services.
have to pay to
Oh,
traverse
right.
rungs, and you have been told not to give away that service.
See, we would have gotten a big
Now, was the
doo.
wording giveaway, is that just implying that if we charge for it, we're good?
You'd probably have to ask the guards.
We'll ask Lil.
It's probably a good idea.
Yeah, I think Nim was
We're just trying to start up an empire.
Nim was
Just
on his
getting your
way
side
into the
hustle
inn
on.
anyways.
That's right. That's how we're going to make the big bucks.
Exactly. So I think that's the main points. I mean, we'll go through it a little bit for everybody else. So you guys went to the shops, and then you encountered two lovely women who immediately seduced Dis and made use of his ring.
But they attempted to seduce him.
That's
They-
right.
they
We don't
then
know
just-
if it worked.
No, because he tried to leave, and then they
That's
just
true.
threw themselves upon. One threw herself upon him.
It's like, okay, wait a second.
That's right. And then through things that weren't necessarily anybody's fault, two girls were transported to a different rung, and the party reacted swiftly to resolve that situation. One girl was immediately taken back. Another girl was, well, folded over the front of a ram like she was getting hit by a Mack truck going 80. And I mean, she was fine eventually, and everything worked out okay. The guards came and checked on everything, but no charges. Everybody seems to have just kind of agreed that everything worked out for the best. The two girls were giving Dis pretty dirty looks when they left, so, you know, maybe avoid them for a little while might be a good idea. I mean, you don't know their names or anything, so I'm not sure how you're going to avoid them exactly, but
This would be like Chainmail Guy.
yeah, we almost forgot about Chainmail Guy. We have to remind everybody that he is a constant threat.
Or how about the fact that Dis saw a bunch of guys in chainmail in the market rung and started freaking out and having PTSD?
I think that's part of the reason that this whole
Thing
It
started.
is. It is.
That's true.
We were hand in hand in this situation.
That's true.
It's
I don't want
actually-
anybody to feel like it was
Yeah, this is
only
true.
Kenna's
This is
fault
true.
or only
And-
Dis's fault.
And Nim was just in a shop trying
This
to
is
buy
just over here.
diamonds.
But
just chilling out.
to be fair, Nim also wanted us to go to the level in the first place.
Yeah.
So
It's Nim's fault.
We'll wrap everybody up in this. I can't
The only
figure out a way to
person
blame
who
Lazarus.
is innocent of this is Lazarus.
now, one of the things is because we had to end so abruptly last session, I do kind of forget where everybody ended the session. I know Lazarus was building the church, and I know Kenna was still in the sewers.
I was
Dis and Nim went to go get the gem, but I can't remember if you had left
I
the
thought-
market rung yet.
I thought Nim left me behind when he went in, when he met the guards. When I was behind, I
Oh,
took him
right.
away.
Sorry, we did make it back to the farming rung because you got interviewed.
Yeah.
That's right.
So he was getting interviewed behind the inn, I believe, and Nim was like, "I need a drink," and I was
Yeah.
headed.
Yes.
That's
While
right.
I was waiting for him,
That's
that's
right.
the reason I was sitting out there.
That's right.
Yeah,
It's
so
like,
he
okay.
was waiting for me, but Nim was about to sit down, and then my next action was going to be contact everybody to let them know.
Okay. Well, that being the case then, why don't we jump to Lazarus? How late do you work on the church? Especially now that everything's happened. Well, I guess maybe I'll give Nim an opportunity to contact everybody and we'll see who he pulls in where. So actually, we'll go to Nim in the inn.
Okay, I guess how many people are in the inn? Because it was only it was the afternoon, wasn't it?
Somewhere in around that area. Yeah, there's about 4 people in the inn right now.
Okay. I'll just kind of find that corner table we've been using and just sit down there.
Yeah, there definitely has kind of become sort of an earmarked table for you guys.
Yep, and I'll sit down there and is Lil, does she look available?
She's, wandering around and doing her thing.
Okay, I guess I'll contact the group first. So I'll go... Dis was waiting for me, so I'll go Dis, and then... hey buddy, I know I was supposed to meet you, but I needed a drink, so I'm just sitting in the inn right now. I don't know if you want to come meet me in there.
Oh. Nim. Sure.
Okay. So, Dis, I assume you head for the bar?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm a little shaken up.
And then next would be Kenna, because I know she's hanging out in the sewage run still.
That is where you left her, yeah.
So I'll go, Kenna! Hey, Kenna! I think you're clear to come back now. I'm hanging in the inn. I think Dis is going to come this way, too.
Hey, Nim. All right. I'll come on back.
And then I'll do... Lazarus? Hey, Lazarus, we're gonna have a drink in the inn after the events of today. I don't know if you want to keep working on the church or if you're gonna come in, but just letting you know where we're at.
What am I doing at that moment?
At that exact moment, you would have just finished talking to the guards maybe about 10 minutes before. Since it's getting a little bit later in the afternoon, chances are the rest of the group that's building the church is probably wrapping up for the day. They're just kind of planning out what they're going to set up tomorrow and that sort of thing. So chances are you're probably just communicating with them and talking about what's going to go where tomorrow sort of thing.
And then I probably don't answer immediately if I'm talking to somebody.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It was kind of an open-ended thing
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
Lazarus heard that, so it's just...
Fair enough. So I guess that leaves Kenna teleports back to the inn.
Yeah.
And that leaves the three of you in the inn then.
I guess I'll wave down Lil if she...
She just walks by. Yeah, can I help you?
Yeah. First off, I have a question.
Oh, all right.
About these rings.
Yes.
If someone needs to transport but they don't have a ring, what's the protocol with that?
Oh, so normally, if you need to go from rung to rung, particularly if it's a rung you don't have access to, or you're one of the individuals that doesn't have a ring, then you would talk to one of the guardsmen, and you would pay them. It depends on the rung, but usually it's about a silver, and you tell them which rung you'd want to go to and what your business is there, and then they will transport you over.
So it's all run through the guards?
Usually, yes. There are some other groups that do things moving across, but they usually okay their activities through the gods as well.
All right. Sounds good. I think we need a round of beer. Beer?
2.
Do you have any of that, blue stuff, Lil?
I have a little left, yes.
Could you just throw a little in a beer for me?
How much is a little?
Like half the size you gave me last time? A quarter of the size you gave me last time.
All right. I think I can manage that.
What's this blue stuff?
Oh, that's right, Master Dis. I'll bring you some.
Okay.
You might only want one beer then.
Just get one beer.
It's best if you try it yourself.
But don't drink it out of the thing. You gotta put it in the beer.
Do not drink it out of the thing.
Alright, I will have one blue thing with one beer.
Does the blue thing have a name, Lil?
Oh, little stuff.
Yes, it does. It goes by a couple of different names. I prefer to call it Dragon's Breath.
What?
Dragon's breath.
What now?
Dragon's Breath. Like the breath from a dragon.
That's alarming.
I think I'll just have the beer for now.
All right. When Nim says that, the couple of people that are also in the inn, some of them were there last night, and some of them chuckled.
Yeah, scarred.
All right. Will the rather large Lazarus, will he be joining you?
Yeah, he'll be here eventually.
Should I bring him a drink as well then?
Yeah, probably bring one of those blue things. I think he likes dragon stuff.
All right, I think I can do that as well. I should have enough left for that.
Fantastic.
All right. Is there anything else before I go back?
Maybe some food?
Dinner?
Yeah.
Food?
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. I figure when it gets a little later, I do have some information to talk to you about for quests and that sort of thing. But now that you're a little bit higher in the rank, we should maybe be a little more discreet. So I'll maybe invite you to the back there, and we can discuss your jobs there.
All right.
Nice.
All right.
How much for the beer?
The beer is one silver per cup.
And for the dragon's breath.
I don't usually charge for the dragon's breath for a variety of reasons. One of which largely being technically it shouldn't be sold as a drink. But
Oh, what?
Wait,
but I really wouldn't worry about that. We'll leave it off the tab.
All right, thanks, Lil. Can you throw her an extra silver?
Fine.
tip the woman.
Making him do more math. All right, and she retreats. Probably be about, because you wanted food as well, so it'd probably be about 10 minutes or so before she comes back. Lazarus, do you figure you'd be back by then, or?
I mean, so provided like everything's actually done, because Lazarus would probably intend to stay to the end, then he would probably wrap things up with Father Maxie and then head to the tavern.
Okay. Is there anything you wanted to talk to Father Maxie specifically about?
I suppose. Father Maxie's probably intending to have the same schedule and keep working on it tomorrow, so Lazarus doesn't have any questions then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. So chances are you probably walk in as the food and drinks are being delivered.
Well, good evening, all.
Hey, Lazarus.
Well, that was coordinated.
All planned and rehearsed.
Yeah, we've had 10 minutes.
They've been
Lazarus
practicing the whole
was
time.
wrapping things up of the church, as it were.
How's the church going?
It is going, first day in. Not too much to see as of yet.
Oh, so you had an uneventful day then.
Well, minus for certain occurrences.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm aware of those.
Lazarus would rather remain unaware.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Now, there's a lot of people in chainmail in the market run. We gotta be careful when we go there. I don't think we're taking proper precautions. Keep proper sightlines. Watch for men in chainmail. If one starts approaching you, contact the rest of us.
You know, I think...
Maybe you shouldn't come to the market run.
No, I must now to protect.
I think the more unique thing about the guy you saw in chainmail wasn't the chainmail, and was the fact that he was giving you a dirty look. So maybe we look out for people giving us dirty looks, and
Or
those are the
perhaps,
suspects.
what did he look like?
I'm trying to figure out some way to disagree with you. Yeah.
Well, that's not it.
I assumed the chainmail was like his second skin. You know, I built a whole backstory for him in my head.
Lots of people wear chainmail.
See, I wasn't aware of this.
Well, that's ridiculous, because you've met people who wear chainmail.
How many people have I met? I know we've gone over this before, but I never write it
Just
down.
the dragon. Demon skulls?
The demon skulls.
Yeah, the demon skulls, some
They
of them
all-
had chainmail.
That'd be the only group I can think
But
of.
knowing... I still don't think I would remember, because chainmail wouldn't have been a big thing in my mind until the chainmail...
No, I mean, like, certainly you probably would have just been like, that dude's wearing armor.
I don't know.
But you certainly do remember seeing several people in the market run in chainmail. So
Yeah,
I mean,
those
you
are
are
the last
definitely
ones.
aware of other people wearing it.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday kind of proved that more than one person wears chainmail.
I think we just made progress, everybody.
So we gotta watch out for people with dirty looks. They could be anywhere. He's got one right now.
It's a dragonborn.
Just
His
points at
face
Lazarus.
looks
Like,
like
probably
that.
like starts like wiping his snout, like something on my face.
I'm kidding.
Lazarus, my
Yeah.
snout's dirty.
But if you do ever find this one, certainly point him out, and Lazarus can sit on him.
Yeah, so it's a way to watch for the combination of...
So what did he look like?
I want to do a history check and see if I remember anything other than the dirty look he gave me.
All right. I want you to do it, but I want you to do it with disadvantage, because you know Dis doesn't remember.
Not even a clue.
Nim channels his divinity into Dis, and he rolls a 16. No,
Okay.
I said 16 before you rolled.
Yeah, I know. Oh, what happened?
How does it work with disadvantage? Does it only take
just
one of his
overrides
rolls?
it.
Oh, does it just override? Okay.
So that's 17.
Okay.
So you're just gonna make it so
Nim is just like, remember.
Please remember.
Remember.
starts dancing to his god.
Okay, so it turns out you remember a couple of things about Chainmail Guy. First, very importantly, he gave you a dirty look.
Okay. I seem to recall that.
Second, he was definitely wearing chainmail.
These are checking out.
Third, he had blonde hair.
He had blonde hair.
That describes like half the people around here.
How
It is
common is
more
blonde as a
than
hair?
that.
So I can totally see that with all the farbers.
Blonde is pretty common among humans, less common among like elves. They tend to go more like the silvery white if they're going that light. Or at least in my head they do, so that's
But
how
blonde
that
is only
works.
common among certain types of humans, or
It would be, but with everything that's going on, the humans aren't split apart like that, so
makes sense.
they're all kind of
shoved into
intermingled. Yeah.
Slave camps and bread.
It's not like blonde hair is impossible for other races, but a human definitely would be the one you'd expect to see it in most, and obviously you remember he was a human, so...
So do I remember then, because he was blonde and he was giving me a dirty look, he wasn't wearing any type of helmet or anything?
Not a type of helmet that would have blocked your view of his hair.
Yeah.
But you don't remember if maybe he had like a small hat of some kind.
He's blonde, he wears chainmail, and he likes giving dirty looks as far as I can tell.
Do you remember, like, I guess he must have been, like, generally taller if you could see him giving you the dirty look? Like, do you remember, like, a general height?
How far away was he when I saw him? He was pretty far.
Almost on the other side of the room.
And I caught...
Watch, he's a gnome.
Do I... It was my reflection the whole time. Chainmail.
There was just a gnome standing on a table in the back.
Yeah.
Now all I can think of is that stupid gopher meme. You're not 100% sure about his height, but he felt like average human height.
Say about 5'10".
So, like, 2 of me?
Yeah, and blonde, with chainmail and a dirty look.
Math checks out.
A suspiciously dirty look.
Alright.
I like how even after remembering him, you still remember it as a suspicious, dirty look.
Because I still remember the timing I asked for it. I was looking for suspicious
That's
people.
true.
It's
Anyway,
like
he just
ingrained.
happened to be looking at you.
This has it ingrained.
It's perfect, though. I wouldn't change a thing.
So, if we watch out for those characteristics, we might be safe, but he could sneak up on us. Maybe his chainmail's silent.
Well, that would be something.
I mean, I've seen crazier stuff. Look at your armor.
Well, Lazarus would certainly like to look into making this one quiet.
That'd be pretty amusing and scary.
Jangles around.
Absolutely
Jangle,
terrifying.
jangle. Jangle, jangle.
Actually, it's probably the propped up in my room because I've just been working on the church.
All right. So do people drink now?
Knowing that Lil wants to talk to us, I think Kenna will drink slowly.
Well, I mean, like, do I just see the blue stuff?
The blue stuff came as it came to them. Your beer on one side and the little shot glass of blue stuff. To both you and Dis. Yours was mixed in because you asked for it.
I will warn you, you want to mix the blue stuff with the big...
Lazarus was here last time.
We learned the name of it.
So,
Dragon's Breath.
that is rather fitting.
Thought you would enjoy that.
That's why I got you.
Certainly more of a red dragon breath than blue.
Really? Because it's blue.
Tastes like fire, not lightning.
Well, there is that.
Fair point.
Can't really argue with that logic. Alright, so Kenna's gonna sip her drink of only moderate blue death. Nim, I assume, is just sipping away at his beer as well.
Yep. Lazarus isn't working in sweat, so he probably clears half his plate before he touches it.
Fair enough, fair enough. That just leaves Dis. How does Dis handle this new...
Dis would probably
We're all
eat
probably
first.
we're all just like fucking watching this.
The
waiting
whole
for it.
table is just like
This would eat
staring
first,
at Dis.
anyhow, because he has
That
to
makes
have his
sense.
strength.
Yeah.
For the chainmail guy attacks. No, it's worrying less on now. He's
feeling better.
Wait, so the
now.
prospect that you know less about how to find him has made you less worried?
No, because I know he's blonde.
Oh, so you at least know like what to look for.
I know a slight
see.
characteristic of it to look past more than chainmail, since I saw a lot of chainmail dudes.
I see. All right, well, that seems fair. Okay, so everybody works their way through their meal. As you're eating, Lil does come up to the table at one point. If it's all right with all of you, I'd like to have a sort of surf and turf meeting when you're done eating in a little while, if that works for you.
Absolutely.
Certainly, Lazarus will most likely be done very soon.
All right. I'll just be waiting in the back room. Obviously, when you are ready, just come knock on the door.
Are we allowed to bring our beer?
I mean, yes.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm done eating, so whatever.
Well, he doesn't have the blue stuff in him.
No,
he
no,
just
you
says,
know.
"Oh, no, I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
but
the
he's
blue
just
stuff."
milk-sized.
Whatever.
All right. Well, I'll be waiting then. And she just sort of wanders off.
Food.
Yeah. So you finish eating. Is anybody gonna do their drink, or are you gonna wait?
I wonder. Oh, well, I'll just wait till after we're done with Lil.
I feel like Nim's just been sipping on his the whole time, but that doesn't matter.
Ken has also been sipping on hers.
Lazarus
Fair.
probably be like having like the end meal need some water. And
Yeah.
swallow shit down without the blue stuff.
Without the blue stuff.
Not until
Okay.
until like just
We don't
for it.
get any cliche moments where you like start choking, and I'm like, here you go.
You'd have to give me a pretty good reason why the Dragonborn suddenly chokes. I mean, I'm not open to it.
There was no flies in his soup. That's why he's choking.
You watch Lazarus catch flies out of the air.
I said there was no flies in his soup.
Oh, sorry. Said that there's flies in it.
All right, well, it's up to you guys.
Dis would down it. He wants to go
Okay.
for it.
Do you
He's
put it?
interested.
Do you put it as ordered into the drink?
I do.
Okay.
I don't take just the blue stuff.
Okay. So you pour it into the drink, and being the full shot, it really does rather immediately, like putting food coloring in oil. It just kind of all the way through it.
Here we go.
Okay.
That was not a good idea.
Dis fires it back pretty aggressively, given his hand motion. So we'll start with a Constitution save with disadvantage, though.
+5.
And this is where he uses his inspiration.
He does have
With
+5
disadvantage?
from Lazarus.
16.
Okay, not too bad, not too bad. Almost good enough, I feel like it hurts. But with the beer, I mean, that's what it's supposed to be mixed with. It does take a lot of the fire out of it. Leaves it feeling more like a warm, like maybe just eating a hot pepper. It's not, traumatizing, but it's warm. And it's not too bad. You do feel yourself getting drunk much faster than you normally would. But overall, it really kind of seems like the rest of the group maybe overplayed it a little.
I don't know what you guys are so worried about. This stuff's nice.
You should have seen it. Nim shot the thing straight.
I didn't know.
Like the blue stuff?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
right.
Knocked him right on his ass.
He toppled over and spewed the whole thing out.
Whoa. That's hilarious.
He sure
It
missed out
was
on a
rather
good time.
I was thinking about drinking it just out of curiosity first. Kind of glad I didn't now.
Should be very glad. It's not a good idea.
Every once in a while, I can't help but imagine Dis as Batman, just being like, whoa, like in Batman garb, and just like, it's the stupidest mental image.
It's like this.
Whoa. All right, so.
So now that we're getting up for Lil,
Yeah.
I pour mine into mine, and then I take my beer with me just so that it's not somebody doesn't steal my blue stuff.
Okay, fair enough. So, you guys go, knock on the door. Who knocks, out of curiosity? All right, Lazarus knocks. He is the one who knocks. Lil just kind of through the door. You're all right. Come on in. So it's that little prep room again. She's just kind of, all right, if you don't mind, just come on in, close the door.
Lazarus probably is As he was already waiting there, probably just goes to the same spot that fits him.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Isn't that the doorway?
I guess.
Guess we'll squeeze past Lazarus.
All right. So, as you get into the room, Lil just kind of like motions towards some of the counters and stuff and just kind of indicates that you can take a seat. All right. So I wanted to get together and just talk about some of the quests that I've managed to round up for you guys. And we can talk a little bit about what you kind of want to do next and that sort of thing. Who has the highest passive perception in the room? Okay. Roll a luck roll, Kenna.
That was a tease.
That was a tease. What a dick move, dice. 6.
Okay. So she just continues. Before I kind of talk about the quest that I had managed to find for you, is there any type of activity that you would really rather do or wouldn't do? I mean, obviously, I assume, and I don't mean to intrude, that if the price is right and that sort of thing, that you'll probably be willing to do almost anything that would further your reputation at this point.
Well, yeah.
Who's the next highest perception?
I got passive 15.
I also had 15.
Okay, both of you roll a luck roll.
6.
20.
Figures it'd be Dis. All right, so as you guys are talking about this, Dis, you start to get a weird nagging feeling in the back of your neck. You kind of look around the room, but you don't see anything immediately out of place. But nevertheless, the feeling remains.
Yeah, is it more of a feeling being watched, or is something just not right?
You're not sure, just the hairs on the back of your neck are up.
I want to do another scan of the room closer, like trying to find something behind me, just mid-conversation. Like,
Okay, go ahead. Do a
I
perception
really care
roll.
about looking super suspicious.
So, anything in particular that you wouldn't do, even considering that?
Lazarus is generally not the nefarious type.
Okay. What did you roll, Des?
23.
Okay. So you keep looking around the room and, like, something definitely feels off. You kind of keep looking around, you're only kind of half paying attention to the conversation, and finally you kind of settle on something that feels weird, but you're not sure why. You keep finding your eye drawn to the shadows of the counters. But you can't really say why, you just keep looking at them.
Would Nim notice him looking around all crazy like?
It depends. Are you more focused on Lil talking about the quests?
I mean, Nim's pretty paranoid, so he makes eye contact with Lil, but he's constantly scanning the room.
Okay, so you might notice Dis is kind of looking around a little funny.
I'd be kind of like...
Kenna's highly perceptive.
I mean, you would have definitely seen him looking around as well.
I feel like once
think
one
I
person
would
looks, it
look.
starts sort of domino effect.
like
Everyone's
because then Nim's looking at Dis, and now Kenna's looking at Nim, and
I'm just like...
Can I do a perception check?
Go ahead. Lil kind of just, is something wrong?
It feels weird in the shadows.
What did you roll?
21.
Okay. You also find your eye kind of drawn to the shadows of the counters. It's a little strange.
Lil, I don't mean to be rude, but is something wrong with your counters?
Well, I mean, they're old.
Insight?
Go ahead.
20.
Yeah, there's some old-ass counters.
Okay.
You're both saying there's something with the shadow, then?
Something's wrong. Something's not right.
Feels wrong.
Nim wants to
Go ahead.
detect magic while he's doing that.
Okay, go ahead. So, you insta-cast it?
Yes, it just
Okay.
cast.
So at the same moment you go to ping, unbeknownst to you, he casts Detect Magic. As soon as you cast magic, everything in the room changes. So it goes from basically the room that you were in before, those shadows that the two of you specifically are watching really intently, just kind of immediately expand and swallow the bottom of the room, and then shoot up the walls, completely covering the room. Not knocking out the light of the room, but making all of the walls and the floor and the ceiling completely pitch black.
I'd probably like jump backwards off the chair and pull my weapon.
Okay, fair enough.
Kenna would stay where she is.
Okay.
Myers, save me.
You're gonna.
Sorry, I suppose I need to wait for the results of my ping first.
Yes, so nothing high on either end.
Do I see anything in particular with my detect magic?
Yes, there's definitely a lot of magic in the walls now.
So I watched it kind of like creep out of the shadows up through the
They're
walls.
definitely magically enchanted. Particularly because you can watch the flow of the magic, you watch in the center of the room as the shadows start to kind of turn in the middle and begin pulling upwards. Kind of like something's being pushed up through the center
I
of the
shoved
room.
myself into the center, wherever.
Is Lil still standing there? Like nothing's wrong?
No, she's standing there, but she looks confused.
Is she looking at us like she's confused? Or, looking at specifically at our
No,
party?
she's
Or
like looking around the room.
Oh, so
Like,
she's seeing
not-
it.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's definitely seeing it.
Yay.
Lil, do you have any idea what's happening right now?
Not really, no.
What was in the blue stuff?
That's good enough.
What was in the blue stuff?
Hold on, where's the
Perfect.
the shadow starting to pull up?
Right in the center of the room, kind of in between everybody.
Right on that point, I just cast fucking Moonbeam on it.
Okay. Read Moonbeam, I don't think you've used that one in quite a while.
Oh, I'm gonna have. This is one of the ones that's got like.
Yeah.
Yeah, moonbeams.
It's a very long one.
While he's looking that up, can I roll an Arcana check?
Yes. And actually, I guess don't bother looking it up. It just occurred to me it won't matter.
Well,
So yeah, you kind of point to the room and you go to cast Moonbeam, and it's immediately countered. As you do, Nim finishes his Arcana check.
26.
Okay. There's definitely, so the magic in the center of the room, it's a couple of different kinds. It's a little bit hard to nail down. It's partially illusion, partially enchantment, maybe even a little bit of alteration. You're not sure. Whatever it is, there's a lot of magic going into it.
What did you, when I jumped back, what did you do other than casting Detect Magic? Did you move around at all?
No.
Would I have noticed his eyes? So I'd be scanning? Or would I be too focused around?
You might be too focused on the room to notice.
No, I would
Detect magic has vocal components, though, so you would have heard me
I
cast.
could
Yeah, that's
spell
true.
Magic.
That's true.
While you're all thinking about this, the thing in the middle of the room continues to grow. And as it continues to grow, it grows to a point where it kind of towers over all of you and begins to kind of widen out a little bit as well and kind of is taking on a bit more of like a person form.
Well, I suppose my immediate next action after getting my shit dispelled is, where is Lil in relation to the door and the thing? And
You can't see the door anymore.
well, then I just put myself between Lil and that thing.
Okay, fair enough. Actually, just as you're stepping in front of Lil, because you're so close to her now, you hear her whisper very softly under her breath the name Skinner.
Okay, I guess I need to mental note that. Or do I need the...
Yeah, you can mental note that.
I don't think I've heard that one before.
As Lazarus kind of moves in between, that form begins to kind of solidify out and definitely becomes more of like a person, but it's all shadow and like not even eyes per se. There's just kind of voids. And it kind of starts to elongate out into more of a person standing in front of you. As it does, one hand and arm starts to kind of reach out and around, kind of towards Lazarus, but it looks like it's reaching kind of past him, like around him.
Where does it look like it's going?
Kind of towards Lil, but it's not moving quickly. It's moving very, like, kind of gingerly that
Can we all
direction.
see that?
Yeah, definitely.
I will go stand on the other side of Lil.
Yeah, I'm just like, nope.
Okay. So you're kind of trying to keep yourself
Yeah.
between it and her.
I try to stealth, like, behind
Okay.
the corner, just, like, kind of set up if it attacks or follows through on this in any bad way, like, come out.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a stealth roll. As the two of you close in around Lil, you hear her louder this time. She's kind of like, "Oh, Skinner,
What's a Skinner?
Skinner.
Kind of, as both of you do that, I need you both to roll dexterity saves.
No.
Well, how was your stealth?
12.
I'm in your aura now?
That one.
Just randomly 12 on stealth. This is just like, you know what? I'm not going to be stealthy today.
Freaking
Fuck
trip
that.
right off the
Fuck
side.
that. I mean, the whole room is like dark now. Not like the lights are still on, but like the walls and shit are all like,
How is it
completely
affecting?
black.
Does it look like different for me that it's dark compared to what?
You can't see the walls either. Like, it's definitely a magical
I'm
darkness.
just like free. Okay.
Okay, what was your guys' dexterity saves?
13.
13?
22.
Did you
Okay.
count yours?
Yep.
Damn.
I know, right? Okay, so the appendage suddenly moves very quickly past Lazarus. It just kind of like shoots by him. And Kenna, just as you're starting to kind of like interlude yourself in between, you watch it kind of stop right before it touches Lil's face, and it just kind of like runs down the side of her face. Just kind of that gentle, like familiar, almost, romantic gesture.
Alright. Lil, do you know this Skinner?
She starts to reply, and then you hear, Lil, it's been a long time. And she just kind of like looks and she's like, I had no idea you were alive.
Are we perhaps intruding?
Who are you, Shadow Man?
No, not at all, Lazarus. I've come to talk with Surf and Turf.
What?
Now this is getting really complicated.
May I have a moment of your time?
Absolutely.
I feel like Nim just holds up one finger and then just starts like downing his beer.
Just a second. Very well. I will wait.
Oh, it doesn't take that long.
Well, I turn to Lil. Is this one of the quests?
Not that I was aware of.
Interesting.
She did just say she wasn't aware he was even alive.
That's a good point, because... Already got no answer for that one.
So the shadow in the middle of the room kind of solidifies into more of an actual personified person, but it never loses that shadow quality. There's no clear detail about who it is, their gender, what race they are, nothing.
That is a male voice. And he touched
It
Lil.
sounds like a male voice.
He caressed
He
Lil.
caressed Lil. It's a
He
little awkward.
caressed Lil. Are you ready now?
Yeah.
We were born ready.
I hope so, Jess. I do hope so. I've come to speak with you of a matter of great importance, and a request for you and your group. You are free to take it, or to disagree and not take it. But I will warn you now, should you disagree with the offer and turn it down, I will be forced to eradicate your memories of our encounter. Do you wish to proceed?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Well, 3 against 1.
No. All individuals must be committed.
Lazarus will, of course, follow the will of his group.
Very well. It may not surprise you to learn that despite Surf and Turf's relative low rank, you have begun to draw attention from people higher within the Stronghold, specifically due to a rather nasty rumor being spread about your possible affiliation with the renegade known as Maverick. As such, certain elements of Stronghold society that would normally not pay a group of your low rank any particular attention have begun to show an unhealthy level of interest. these darker elements, you may even think of it as sort of the inverse of the Adventurers Guild within the Stronghold, is known as the Blade's Shadow. Make no mistake, they are thieves, murderers, traitors, and in some cases we suspect even demons in disguise, seeking to bring down the Stronghold from within. Due to your relative new status within the Stronghold, and the fact that no one would expect Her Glorious Majesty the Queen, the King, or the High Walls themselves to reach out to a group as low in the ranks as you, I have been given permission to extend to you a deal. We would like for you to become our spies within this organization, so that we may root out the traitors, limit their negative impacts, and of course learn more about how they work.
And what's in it for us?
Well, to begin with, it is obvious to those of us paying attention that Surf and Turf wishes to raise particularly high within Stronghold society for specific purposes. It would obviously be easier to do this if you are, in a sense, playing both sides of the field. Most high-level adventuring groups from time to time will dip into unofficial jobs. It's sort of an understanding of necessity, and indeed most nobles and the like will find it overly suspicious if a group is viewed as too pure, as it were. This would give you an opportunity to take these lower jobs without feeling like you're doing something you shouldn't. You would still be doing them for the greater good, namely Her Majesty the Queen.
So we get to go undercover as moles?
Should jobs present themselves to you, we would encourage you to take them. Perform the jobs as required while doing your best to minimize the negative impacts without arousing suspicion. Raise yourself within this shadow group as to learn more about them, and of course, report back to me with what you find.
How would we contact you?
Should you decide to take the job, you will be given a method of contacting me.
And through this, what happens if we're found out?
It is a good question. Due to the nature of being a spy, I cannot obviously promise that should you be discovered performing activities that you shouldn't, that you will not be punished. Though, of course, I will make every effort on my end to minimize that punishment. However, if those punishments were to go away completely, it would only arouse suspicion with the type of individuals you would not wish to be suspicious of you. So the short answer is, you would be arrested like anyone else. Obviously, this is a fair amount to throw on you, and I have been authorized to give you an opportunity to suggest rewards or things that you would like for performing this service, though obviously these rewards would only be doled out as certain milestones were met.
Go ahead and say it in.
Books?
Certainly, books can be arranged.
I'm in.
Instantly. This is going to ask much of Lazarus.
I was informed that the lizard would be difficult, to persuade. As such, I've been given a very particular bit of information for you, Mr. Lazarus, and that is that through these activities, I can assure you that you will find the little girl you are looking for. Though I would doubt you would encounter the particular individual that has her without performing jobs on the darker side of the Stronghold.
Oh. I think you may have just sold everyone right there.
Well, that also means she's being held by someone greasy as shit.
Yeah.
Nice.
We're screwing with
I like this, or he's just screwing with us.
I really don't feel like he's screwing with us.
Could we to get Lazarus on board, though?
I mean, Nim knows well enough that, like, if he has memory wipe capabilities, he's probably reading our thoughts right now.
Yeah.
Anyway, so.
Don't be ridiculous. Just kidding.
Now, would I be able to get information on a certain man who was around when we met Sergeant Strange the first time? Strange.
Sergeant Strange.
Nice recovery, Des.
Strange.
Sounds like you have a strained relationship.
We are, of course, aware of all those that come and go from our facilities.
So, I get information on his current whereabouts and what he's been doing over the last while.
You could, should you provide enough intel to warrant the return of information.
I'm in.
That appears to be 2 out of 4.
Lazarus is always a poor and working towards the greater good. However, this is going to lay heavy on himself. Kenna, what are you deciding?
I don't know. It's been a whirlwind of a day, y'all.
This is mostly what we had been hoping for.
This is, you're right. And, I mean, I really want to make sure we find Mary. So with that, I'm in.
And if the ultimate goal is to remove such presences from the Stronghold, Lazarus supposes he can bear the grit.
Very well. It appears then that you all agree. I look forward to being able to work with you, and I hope that you are not killed before your mission is complete.
That would be a united thought.
Very well then. Since you have all accepted the terms of the agreement, I will only add that at this time, I have nothing more to give you in terms of an objective. You will need to wait for the Blade's Shadow to contact you themselves.
Is there any specific rung we should stay on to have them contact us quicker?
There is no rung with which the Blade's Shadow cannot reach. They will find you when they think you will be useful to them.
Is there anything we can do to speed up the process?
There may be, but I would advise against such activities, as appearing too eager would likely only increase suspicion upon you.
How much of this are we allowed to talk to other people about? How much is confidential?
Absolutely nothing.
We're spies.
You're the only person we talk to about this.
Lil
You're
will
a
also
handler.
be aware of it, as I have no wish to erase her memory again.
Again?
He just provides no answer.
So you get memory wiping.
Yeah, you asked for it that time. You don't poke. Don't poke.
Should we ask for some money? Because, like, we're not going to move the other day for what we're doing. I'm just saying.
Then
I'm just asking.
We're gonna be
Well,
thieves.
yeah.
We can steal it.
This guy over here.
This guy right here.
I mean, we'll just steal from the wealthy and give to the poor. That's how
Robin
this
Hood.
works, right?
Yeah, we're gonna Robin Hood this.
I mean, one more, so it counts, right?
I do find it interesting that you believe that the Blade's shadow would give you quests against the nobles. You may not be understanding how things work here, but I suspect you will learn in time.
Oh.
Very well, then. Is there anything else you wish to ask of me?
Yeah, how did you come here in the shadows? That was crazy.
It's not overly difficult.
Why can't you do that? Says it's not hard.
Oh, God.
Oh, golly.
I'm not the most powerful wizard in the world.
Yeah.
Because I don't have books. Okay? This is the difference. He has books. I don't have books. I have this book. See? Only shit I write in it.
See, I'm starting to understand why you want books so bad now. We gotta get him some books. I want to see some shadowy shit.
Yeah.
Your banter is interesting. I wonder if it will aid you or impede you in your further progress.
Lazarus does have one curiosity.
Very well.
Out of the responses he could have had, how poorly did he choose?
Which response would
To
that
your
be?
arrival.
Oh. Your attempt to stop me from entering the room was ineffective.
Most certainly.
I guess one last question is, how do we contact you when the time is right?
Ah, yes, of course. Forgive me for not giving it to you earlier. You may be familiar with the ring's ability to communicate to an individual, but such methods would be a little too obvious. So instead, we have co-opted a symbol once used by our enemies. And he sort of holds out that shadowy appendage, and right in the center of it is a black orb.
Brennan's having
say
flashbacks.
We can't say shit.
That's right. Nobody can say shit.
In all fairness, I still don't really know anything about a black orb.
When you wish to speak with me to provide intel, wait until the middle of the night, stare within the orb itself, and speak your intel in a quiet voice.
Does anything happen if we touch it?
You may touch the orb.
Alright. Just making sure. I had a mistake before.
So it was middle of the night.
Yeah. Stare into the orb.
There is one more thing that must be completed before I go, though I do apologize for the imposition. And as he finishes that statement, the shadows on the bottom of the floor begin to rise upwards, coating your legs.
What are you doing?
It would be best if you do not struggle.
Lazarus is sad he does not have his drink.
It rises past your knees.
I just stand there.
I was just watching Lil, I guess, watching her reaction.
She's not getting covered in shadow. Her reaction is roll an insight roll.
Oh boy. So much.
7.
She's crying, but you have no idea why.
Yeah. Yep. He did.
And he does memory.
Made her believe that he was dead anyway.
Yeah.
Such logic jumps. I'll have to write those down.
Does it feel like anything? The shadows are creeping.
It's very cold.
Nothing like a swim in the ocean.
When it reaches your neck, I would recommend holding your breath.
Alrighty then.
Didn't even take the red pill.
This isn't silvery, it's just pure black. Does anybody do anything?
I feel like Nim closes his eyes and he starts like humming to himself.
Go ahead.
Kenna meditates.
Nothing up or bad. Nothing bad or good, like in an extreme range.
I'll fall to my knees and go, the power flows through me.
So Nim's just
laying back and taking it, and Dis is trying to do a hero death pose or something, and what's everybody else doing?
Kenna's meditating, just like deep breathing into, like, you know, till
Just
it
trying
gets
to relax.
Lazarus is doing like the last final like futile resistance by like
Holding the mouth above the water sort of thing. Okay. When the liquid passes over each one of your heads, all four of you lose consciousness. You awake an unknown amount of time later in each of your rooms.
How are we feeling?
How does this keep happening?
Are my clothes on?
Yes.
I didn't get to drink my beer.
Do I still feel the remnants of the beer I drank?
Everybody you do a constitution check. And everybody else do... Actually, a constitution save as well. Go ahead, Dis.
18.
You still feel a little hungover, but it's kind of like when you've been hungover for most of the day and it's almost gone.
You missed the hangover.
Score.
Score!
This quest is the hangover.
Okay, constitution saves from everybody else.
17.
Okay.
11.
23.
Okay. You two feel more or less okay. Nim, you feel a little discombobulated. Do an Arcana check.
Oh, that's a 12.
Okay. You take a moment to inventory yourself. I mean, you're a magical type person. There's definitely something new about you. Something's been altered.
About me?
Yes, about you specifically. Well, I mean, obviously, you're only checking yourself.
Okay. Well, I just didn't know anything that, like, my spell book felt different. Or my,
You, the person, feel different.
Can I do, like, an insight roll on myself to see if I can determine what feels different?
You can try, but we'll do that after we take a short break.
Sure.
Okay, we'll be right back. Wow, what a cliffhanger. I wonder what's going to happen next time. Seriously, guys, thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening in. If you liked what you heard, share us with your friends. If you hated what you heard, share us with your enemies. Seriously, though, like, comment, subscribe. We'd love to hear from you, and we'll find out what happens to Double Doubles and Dragons next time.